Good day, folks. Welcome. My name is Omer, Ahern Jr., and this is, as you could see on the opening credits there, just Omer. And this is my opportunity to talk with you folks about what's going on in the Grafton County government. And I am the District 3 Grafton County Commissioner. I'm one of three, and I represent the towns on the eastern and southern part of Grafton County, up as far as Warren and Campton, and down to Alexandria, Bristol, Ashland, and over to Canaan, and of course representing the towns of Plymouth, Holderness, and Hebron. And so I want to thank the folks at PBTV for giving me this opportunity to use their facilities to try to bring you up to date on what's going on in your Grafton County government. You haven't seen me for a couple of weeks because it's just been things have, with the holiday and so on. And today is June 9th, and I'm going to report on the last 2 weeks quickly of the county commissioner meetings. We met on June 1st up at North Haverhill at the county complex, and then we met again yesterday, Tuesday, June 8th. And I'm just going to talk with you a little bit about those nursing home department heads that we met with and some of the issues that we're dealing with. Of course, one of the things that everybody's asking about, of course, on the state level and on the county level is, you've probably been hearing that there's all this money coming in from the federal government into the state of New Hampshire, billions of dollars, and there's some multi-million dollars coming into Grafton County, and this is all under the American Rescue Plan Act, and also known as ARPA, A-R-P-A. And the county, Grafton County itself, is scheduled to receive somewhere around $17,400,000. And we found out yesterday from the county fiscal administrator, financial administrator, Julie Libby, that Grafton County has now received its first down payment on that installment in the amount of $8,729,651. Now that money is sitting in a separate bank account, segregated bank account. We're not going to touch the money yet until we have worked a little bit in formulating a plan and in keeping with the American Rescue Plan Act and what the federal Treasury Department has put out there for rules and regulations. So when we heard from the federal government through the state and through the New Hampshire Association of Counties that this money was coming to us, there was also the caveat, the caution, that you really need to be careful where you're spending the money until we find out what our options are, what we can do under the rules and regulations. So that's a big thing that's going to be coming up going forward, is what are we going to do with all these millions of dollars that are coming into Grafton County alone. So on July 1st, the county commissioners, the three of us, as we do every Tuesday morning, we met in North Haverhill at the county complex on the second floor. All of these meetings are also available to the public via Zoom. The meetings start at 9 o'clock, and the three commissioners are there. Commissioner Wendy Piper from the Enfield area, District 1. She is the chairman of the county commission. Linda Lauer, who is the District 2 county commissioner. She represents the towns in the northern and western part of Grafton County. And then, of course, I'm there as the District 3 commissioner. So on June 1st, after we do the Pledge of Allegiance, our first item on the agenda was to hear from Steve Curtis to talk about nuclear energy. And he gave us, almost an hour presentation on this opportunity for the state of New Hampshire to get re-involved with the development and use of small nuclear energy power plants. And he talked about the process and how much money has already been collected from you folks that buy electricity that's generated here in New Hampshire through either the New Hampshire Electric Co-op or the Eversource. So right now there's about $40 billion being held by the federal government that is designated to be used by the state of New Hampshire with regard to instituting, developing new nuclear energy development here in the state of New Hampshire. However, things are kind of on hold right now, but there needs to be a push from the people, from the governor of the state of New Hampshire, and other elected officials to reinvigorate the use of nuclear-generated power, electricity, here in the state of New Hampshire. And from what Mr. Curtis has to say, it will be a very great savings to the people of New Hampshire when it comes to electric power and other power needs. So, he explained to us, that there are no public health problems with regard to the use of this nuclear energy. We're not talking about the big nuclear energy plants like what we saw with Seabrook and with Vermont Yankee, but we're talking about smaller nuclear energy producers like what you see on some of our U.S. naval submarines and some of our U.S. Navy vessels. There are standalone nuclear energy producers right on these naval vessels, and they're working out fine with no problem. So we're looking into that, and I encourage you out there, if you need to learn more about this nuclear energy situation, you should go to Mr. Curtis's website, and it's I can get that to you. Actually, I've got it here now. It's Waste to Energy. Waste to Energy Now is the website you want to go to, and there's a lot of information there that you can learn about what's going on and how safe nuclear energy is. After we heard from Mr. Curtis, we had an update from the nursing home administrator, Craig Labor, talking about still dealing with the backlash from the pandemic and the lockdown, and how that has adversely impacted the income for the nursing home over the last 16 or 18 months. Although they are now getting a few more new residents into the nursing home. So we're dealing with that issue. Again, we since April of 2020, we've had none of our residents in the nursing home that have experienced any of the COVID issues. Yes, some of our staff people have, because they're going back and forth out into the community. But in terms of our residents, we haven't had any problems with our residents suffering from the COVID-19 since the middle of April of 2020. After we heard from Craig Labor, we also then heard from Karen Clough, the Human Resources Director. And actually, Mr. Labor and Mrs. Clough also were together for this part of the meeting to discuss the concerns that we're having with not being able to meet the staff needs in the nursing home, and we trying to figure out ways to encourage people to come from the in terms of nursing staff, RNs, LPNs, LNAs, and people to work in the support staff in the nursing home. And so they're working with providing educational opportunities, to provide some scholarships for folks who want to get into the nursing program, and they talked about some plans that they've got to work with some of the local community colleges in Grafton County. I believe there's one down in Claremont, River's Edge, and then they're talking about working with one of the technical colleges in the Hanover, Lebanon area. So that's something that's very concerning. And if you've got any nursing abilities or want to get involved in nursing, please check out the website at the Human Resources section of the Grafton County, New Hampshire website. We're also looking for new staff people for the Department of Corrections as well. The other part of the meeting on June 1st, we talked about the cybersecurity audit that we're going through right now with all the hacking that's going on and so on and so forth. The commissioners have instituted a separate cybersecurity audit, and we are in the process. I think we have received the preliminary report from the auditors, and we're looking into that. So that's, among other things, what we were talking about on June 1st. And then we also are dealing with the budget issues, so we're meeting also with the county delegation on Monday afternoon, or excuse me, that Tuesday afternoon, June 1st. And we're there as the delegation is reviewing our proposed county commissioner budget, and we're waiting, and we're there to answer any questions that any members of the executive committee of the delegation might have. And again, those meetings are also all available on Zoom so that you, our constituents, are able to listen in, ask questions as to what's going on. The next meeting that I want to talk a little bit about is the meeting that we had on July 8th, and we had a report from our farm manager, Grant Nelson, and he is in charge of the running of our farm operations. We have a very excellent dairy herd there. We make milk that goes into, and when we sell that milk, it goes into the income for the county. And there's just so many papers I've got to look at. Forgive me for being a little bit not as organized as I would like to be. I also have a full-time law practice that keeps me busy as well. So again, we got the report from Grant Nelson, the farm manager, talking about where things are in terms of the crops that have been planted. The potatoes, we got 4 to 5 acres of potatoes that have been planted. We've got winter squash that's been planted. He is selling some of our dairy cows that are, extra, for lack of a better word. So if you're interested in getting your own dairy cow, we're selling good quality dairy cows out of the Grafton County farm. And you can talk with Grant Nelson by calling the county home phone number. After that, we had our monthly report from Kelly Monahan, the Register of Deeds. She talked about, again, the continuing fortune, for lack of a better word, that the county has because of all of the people that are buying houses and land and property in Grafton County, so that the income into the Grafton County Registry of Deeds is significantly more than what had been anticipated when the budget was first passed back in June of 2020 for this fiscal year 2021. And one of Registry of Deeds Monahan's concerns is that it appears that the inventory of properties that are for sale may be being reduced because of the sales that are going on. And one of the things that she did point out is there is very, very few foreclosures that have taken place in the last 18 months. Part of that is because of the governor's order on restricting any foreclosures and other things. So, but the Registry of Deeds is the only part of Grafton County government that actually makes more money than any one of the other departments in the county. So we appreciate the good work that Register of Deeds Monahan does, and her staff. Her staff is outstanding. They're very, very helpful, and but they're still concerned about the COVID issues. So they're, if you do have to go in person to the Registry of Deeds, they do want you to wear a mask. However, the Registry of Deeds records are all available on the internet. There is a process, but you can call the Registry of Deeds up there and they can give you the information you need in order to do things online. After meeting with the Registrar of Deeds, Kelly Monahan, we met with the Grafton County Attorney, an elected official as well, Marcy Hornick, and she was talking about the fact that the courts are now open. The grand juries are meeting now. There's still some variations of how the grand jury is being set up, but within another month or so, the traditional way of the grand jury meeting all together in one place should be back in place. Right now, only portions of the grand jury are meeting in different places, and that's kind of a unique situation. But the county attorney's office is working on trying to reduce the backlog of cases that have been piling up over the last 18 months. They are working with the public defender program to try and mediate, for lack of a better word, some of these cases that have been just basically on hold for the last 16 to 18 months. So, and again, we get reports from all of the department heads and the elected officials at least once a month. Regard to the county attorney, most of the county attorney, in fact, I think all of the county attorneys and the staff have been working remotely from their homes. And I think this week, all of the staff people, all of the assistant county attorneys, and all of the staff people have now returned to the county complex and are working back at their regular stations and offices in the county complex. So there are, county attorney has offices in the county courthouse, and the county attorney's office also has offices. Some of her staff people are in the county administration building, which is also where the county commissioners have their offices. So things are starting to get back to normal, but we're not fully back to normal yet because of the COVID and the governor's orders. Beginning next week, under the commissioners' issues, beginning next week, the commissioners are intending to meet in different parts of the county complex in order to be more available to the different employees and staff when they have their meetings. Not trying to take anything away from what the staff is doing with their regular duties, but letting the staff people know who the commissioners are and that we're interested in. We're very interested in what's going on. The commissioners have not been able to do really surveying, viewing, visiting of the nursing home, and because of the COVID-19 restrictions on there. But that's going to be changing. So the commissioners will be meeting next Tuesday at the UNH Cooperative Extension Conference Room, which is on the first floor of the County Administration Building. And again, those meetings are open to the public, and they will also be available via Zoom. And then after that, the following week, we hope to be meeting at a site in the courthouse. We're not quite sure where that's going to be yet, but we hope to be over in the county courthouse. And talking about the county courthouse, we have just had a engineering study done, status site, what's the status of the courthouse. We've just had a study done on that, probably a 2-inch 3-ring binder. I think I had it in here a couple of weeks ago. And so this is going to definitely be one of the issues that the county commissioners are going to have to be dealing with in the coming year, and we have to make a decision based upon the state of the rules and regulations, code, building codes, life safety codes, and we know that we're going to have to do some significant improvements to meet the life safety codes and building codes under the state of New Hampshire's rules and regulations and laws. And the amount of money that is being discussed, is in the, somewhere between $16 and $30 million to either improve or replace the courthouse. But we're going to be talking with the state of New Hampshire, the administrators of the court, to find out, because the state court system, is the biggest user of the county court, because of the Superior Court, the circuit courts, probate court are all in that building. So there'll be more to come on that. Another big item that we're working on at this time is the Farm Dock program. Farm Dock is a program that the commissioners agreed upon, that is something that we should probably be doing at Grafton County. We adopted the program, I think, back in March of this year, and it's nothing really new in terms of county government, but it is something that's been part of county government ever since county government first started back in the 1870s. And it's part of the present statutory obligations and duties of the county commissioners, is to have a nursing home, House of Correction, Department of Corrections, and a county farm. And the purpose of the county farm is to feed into the nursing home and into the House of Correction. And over the years, because it's easier to open up a number 10 can of string beans than to grow maybe some string beans in the field, process them, can them or freeze them, and then feed them in. There's been some changes, and I'm not quite sure that those changes were necessarily for the best of everybody concerned in that, especially when you take a look at the meals budget in the House of Correction, the Department of Corrections, for the last few years, when that meals line is just to feed the residents of the Department of Corrections. That line is somewhere in the area of $200,000 a year. And I just can't help but think that there isn't, where we've got a wonderful farm right there on the campus. We've got beautiful fields and vegetable fields along the Connecticut River for growing vegetables. And we've got the dairy farm that's there, and we can, there are ways to process the milk, make, milk and butter and cheese and yogurt, and feed all of those things into the Department of Corrections for the inmates. And we also have chickens and we have pigs up there. So we're still working on developing how we're going to be implementing the Farm Dock program. Farm Dock, DOC being the Department of Corrections. One of the major issues, though, we've got with implementing Farm Dock is the labor issue. Right now, we're one person short on the farm, and if one of you out there or several of you out there want to apply for a position on the farm, if you know how to drive a tractor, if you know how to change the oil and do a couple of other things, change tires on implements, and you want to work in an environment that's very friendly, beautiful land to work with, and the benefits that the county offers are absolutely incredible. And if you go to the Human Resources website at the county, you can see more of the needs for that farm employee. And you'll find out what the salary and the benefits are there. So, a lot of things going on at county government. Again, one of the things that we're trying to figure out is how we can make the best use of the funding that's coming to the county from the federal government through the American Rescue Plan Act, and I hope to keep you folks up to date on that. I just want to, reiterate that we in Grafton County have a very excellent nursing home, and again, the purpose of the nursing home is we're the last line of meeting the needs of our elderly and other people here in Grafton County. And so the county home is going to be here. And part of the job of the county commissioners is to look into the future and what do we need to do in order to have a resilient facility so that we're always going to have the ability to feed the residents in the nursing home and in the Department of Corrections, that we're going to be able to provide the energy needs. You can't always depend upon what's going out in the community because, again, what we've just learned over the last 18 months and the lockdowns and the pandemic and, the tornadoes and the things that, happened in the state of Texas and, bringing, the supply chain and how that's not as secure as we would like it to be. We must do more to promote our local agriculture here in Grafton County, and we've got an excellent farm operation with some excellent soil, and we've got opportunities through the farm to teach the residents, the inmates from the House of Correction on how to take care of cows, how to milk cows, how to grow a vegetable garden, so that maybe when they get out, and that's the hope, is when they get out of the House of Correction, that they can take these skills that they've learned on the farm and use them as they go back to their homes to take care of their children and their families. So again, this is part of the original plan of county government, and we're just trying to implement that in among all of the rules and regulations that the state and the federal government is constantly placing on the shoulders of the commissioners. And all we can do is set policy. Our new county administrator, Andrew Dorsett, he's got to kind of work out the strategy, and then we kind of count on the department heads to implement and develop tactics to implement all these things. So if you have any questions of me, Omer Ahern Jr., the District 3 County Commissioner, my phone number is 764-6024, 764-6024. My email is omer.ahern.jr@gmail.com. And actually, earlier this week, I actually got a phone call from a retiree who is very excited about the Farm Doc program. So I've got to return his call, and we'll talk a little bit more about the Farm Doc. Again, I really want you to know that I appreciate working with Commissioners Piper and Commissioner Lauer and the County Administrator, Andrew Dorsett, and all of the department heads. And I also want to thank the folks here at PBTV for allowing me this opportunity to share with you what's going on. And there's just so much going on. And give me a call if you have any questions or send me an email. Thank you. Thank you, PBTV. God bless America, and God bless the Granite State of New Hampshire. Thank you. Bye.